Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Back again on this beautiful Monday. What can I do I say that every Monday? I think I do. But it's okay because all of these Mondays are beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to even tell you. With everything going on in the world, to be alive is beautiful. Let's just be honest, just to be alive. But I like to welcome all of you to the Mary D Show. I'm so happy that you're here. Anytime you come in and spend some time on the Mary D Show, it touches my heart. So thank you, thank you, thank you to each and every one of you for coming in. Before we get going, I'd like to thank our replay viewers and our live viewers. I'd like to thank both of you for taking the time to come. And I also like to thank our sponsors for today's show. One of our sponsors for today's show is the Idea Club. And the Idea Club, the president of the Idea Club is Dumas Martin Jr., and he is a sponsor for the show. So thank you, the Idea Club, for sponsoring this show. I also like to thank First Book Academy. For those of you who are interested in writing your first book, you can go to firstbookacademy.com and learn how to do that at First Book Academy. We also have a sponsor for the show is the Henderson Real Estate Team. The Henderson Real Estate Team, they are a sponsor. And if you're buying a home or you're selling a home, you want to contact the Henderson Real Estate Team. I also would like to give you an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to subscribe to the show. You go to YouTube and you can subscribe to our show. We're always happy to have you subscribe. For those of you that would like to be notified every time the show goes live. And as many of you already know, we're live every single Monday. We've been here over a year now. It's about 18 months of going live every single Monday. And I really am thankful for that. That we've been able to be here consistently for that length of time. And our goal is to keep going. And I thank our executive producer for the show, and that is my very own husband, Oliver Welch. Thank you, babe, for all of your help in getting the shows together. So now, before we go on I want to remind you, if you are interested, if you have children, the books are still available. And this is have you seen the Red Elephant book? Those of you familiar. This is for ages, I say 2 to 5, 2 to 5 year old. Very colorful, very interesting. Here's a showing the red elephant taking a bath, that kind of thing. It's the kind of book that children love. So if you have any children or grandchildren, you go to Amazon and you can pick up one of these, very reasonably priced. But this is one of the books I've written. I'm very proud of it. I call them all my babies. That's what I call the books. But this is one of the very first children's books that I did, that I've written. So if you'd like to get a copy, go right ahead. Now, for our guest today, ladies, gentlemen, I've known this gentleman for a few years now. And every time I've been around him, I've been encouraged. He has a positive energy, not only for his family, for this community. We live in the IE. It's called the IE. It's called the Inland Empire. But this man, when I tell you, his goal is to help small businesses. How can it's any way that he can help you? That's what he's going to do. And he's come on today to tell us about how to do that. Let me read you his bio, ladies and gentlemen. Pepi Jackson is the president and CEO of the Riverside County Black Chamber of Commerce, or RCBCC. Pepi is a business and social innovator. He has been instrumental in increasing RCBCC's reach into the social environment by the creation of community-based projects that have positive effects on the minority business community. Pepi led RCBCC to become the first Black chamber to ever become a covered California navigator entity. RCBCC helped to enroll thousands of individuals and small businesses into affordable healthcare insurance. Under his leadership, new and important programs such as an after-school program to introduce youth into understanding entrepreneurship and the importance of owning their own business someday. Reaching out to young people helps to demonstrate the holistic impact of the relationship between a healthy community and an economically empowered community. Pepi, in addition to the Black Chamber, Pepi holds a Bachelor's of Arts in Religion from the University of Laverne, and recently I'm gonna give a clap right now, Pepe. He received his Master's of Science degree in Entrepreneurship and Innovation from Cal State San Bernardino. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one and only and a friend of mine, Pepe Jackson. Hi, Pepe. How are you?
Good afternoon. And Mary, I want to say happy Monday to you. You're
Oh,
absolutely right. Monday is always a wonderful time. It starts your week. It allows you to understand that each day is a gift and each day should be looked at as an opportunity to see what you can do and make a difference in that day.
oh,
So again, thank you so much for having me here today. I
oh.
appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. We're honored to have you. I know because your impact in this community has been, I mean, phenomenal. And we have a comment from one of our viewers that says, "Hello, Mary and Mr. Jackson. Hi, Gwen. How are you? Welcome, welcome,
Hello.
welcome." And then we have a comment from Charles. Hi, Charles. Charles says, "Hi, Mary. Hello, Pepe. You probably know
Hello,
Charles Brandon."
Charles.
Well, and thank you for anybody that would like to leave a comment. If you haven't already noticed, we try to make sure we acknowledge those comments and make sure you're part of this conversation. So, first of all, let's do this, Pepe. Let's go back as we spoke really briefly before the show.
Yes.
You're not a native Riverside, and I'm not a native Riverside. We're not born and raised here. So, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, a little bit about me is that I was born and raised in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So I was right around the corner from Will Smith. So
Wow.
having
Okay.
having his action over the last episode at the Oscars kind of surprised me because that's not how we do it in Philly,
I
right?
know.
So I'm gonna
It's
leave that
fun.
alone. That's for
I
everybody to know.
know. I know.
I was
Mhm.
invited out here to California by a friend of mine. Um, it was in the late '80s,
Okay.
and I came out, and the first place I landed to was in Long Beach, and right away, leaving Philadelphia and coming to California and touching down into Long Beach with its
Mhm.
palm trees, beaches. Right away, I fell in love with the atmosphere out here in
Mhm.
California and decided that I would come back.
Okay.
I came back and I've made it my home ever since. I think it was 1988 that I came out here.
Okay. Okay. So you came out of the snow. You went to get out.
Absolutely.
I've never lived in the snow. I was raised, I've been here. My family came to San Diego. I was 18 months old. So I don't know anything but California weather. So when
It's nice to visit. In the Christmas time, I sometimes miss it, but I remember those days standing on the corner waiting for a bus. My fingers would be so cold that it felt like they were going to fall off. So I
woo,
never missed that aspect of the cold.
yeah, I can only imagine. I've been to Philadelphia. Philadelphia's a beautiful city. It is just
Very historic.
it is very historic. In fact, a few years ago, Oliver and I walked the city, the downtown area,
Okay.
because it's like you said, and I'm a retired history teacher, so I'm always learning. I don't think I'll ever stop learning history. And we were just walking and learning, and it was just really, really, like you said, very historic. We saw the cobblestone streets. Oh,
Yes, yes, yes.
so,
Well, the Liberty Bell is stationed there, so
uh-huh.
you get a chance to see the Liberty Bell. You get a chance to see where they signed the Declaration of Independence, right down there in Independence Square. That's where you saw the cobblestone streets at.
Uh-huh.
One of my favorite authors, Edgar Allan Poe, one of his homes was right there in the downtown area.
Right.
Really, really got a lot of history to it.
It is. It is very like, and it's just a. I felt really comfortable in that city. I really, really did. I've been to. I like the East Coast anyway. I guess maybe because I was, like I said, raised on the West Coast. I have a thing for the East Coast. I love New York. Just one of those things. I think because I wasn't raised around it, I appreciate it more. I think it's that kind of thing. But yeah, but definitely Philly's on my list. In fact, we have our children work in Philadelphia. They live in New Jersey, but they work in
Okay.
Philadelphia. So yeah, so right around the corner from Will Smith, huh?
Right around the corner from him.
Now see, that was something I think you said proudly up until the Oscars.
Right. Wow. I do really applaud the reaction that Chris Rock had. I mean, he kept it really professional all the way through. I'm sure that Will Smith is probably regretting his decisions now to be so reactive and at a time where he was a little emotional.
It really, yeah, I don't doubt that he definitely he's even said, like he got a 10-year ban from the Academy Award.
Yes.
Um, I don't know how that affects his wife. I don't think it does. It's two different. They're two different entities. But does that mean if she walks the red carpet, he can't walk it with her? Is that what that? I don't know what that means. So who knows?
Well, it's always interesting. The the action of one is reflected on all, and normally that only happens when there's a negative connotation, because when we have accomplishments, it doesn't spread to all of us. But when there's a negative incident, it happens to overshadow all of us. And the comments come out of the woodwork and out of the peanut gallery that you can take the man out of the neighborhood, but you can't, and it wasn't said this way, but you can't take the neighborhood out of the man, right?
Right,
So
right.
we find those kind of comments really, again, some of the microaggression, the things that we deal with as a Black person every day of our life, where you have comments that have undertones and innuendos behind it, and that's the sort of thing that we need to be able to know that is part of our journey.
This is how I feel about this, and this is just my take on. As they say, everybody has their point of view, and it is this. Um, Will Smith's money is not in my bank account, so why does his actions affect me in any way, really? And unless that's the case, that then he's an individual, and we have this, like you said, this thing about if one, especially someone of his magnitude, or he's a celebrity, but he's also a human being. And this is what I've learned. I work behind the scenes on some movie sets. One thing I've learned, if I've learned anything else, people are people, and I've been fortunate enough to be around some celebrities. They've all been nice and kind people, but they're people. They
Yeah,
have
yeah,
same issues, and someone told me their issues are more than what I probably have in my life, because they have more money, so more money means more issues. So I don't know,
for sure, for sure.
but what they do should not have any more than what I do should reflect on them. Let me just say that. And I think I would hope that we stop saying that whatever, whoever, whether Will Smith or Tyler Perry, I don't care who it is, that is them.
Yeah,
That's what you do. That Will Smith, he's taking full responsibility for it, which I'm glad. I don't know how he could not do that, but he still understands. I think he has a lot of regret for that, but those
sure,
actions. I've been
sure.
in situations where I went to,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but I didn't do it.
Right.
I said, my thing was I didn't want to go to jail. So, but I
You
looked.
know, I tell you, one of the things that we help young people with, and is anger management, right? Anger management. Here we are, right? You can tell when you start to get heated. You
Yeah,
you 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 get you start to feel your blood pressure
yeah,
boiling, and you start to the heat comes up in your neck, right?
yeah.
And when you feel that moment is when that's when you have to take that breath and say, okay,
Yeah.
I'm in control of this situation. I can't let this situation get in control of me.
True.
One of the things is that we as a Black folk have tendency to have anger based on things that are just inherent with the way we're taught, with the way we're treated implicitly.
Right,
Or you walk inside of a store, you become the object of everybody's eyeballs to make sure that you aren't stealing anything.
right.
You drive up to a nice car beside you,
Mhm.
and then you hear the doors locks. Right. So the thing is that you get on the
That's not
elevator and
funny, but
everybody stands back. So clutch their purse, clutch their
right.
pearls, right?
Uh,
But the thing is that there's, especially for young people, they don't know why they're angry. They don't know why they're angry.
ooh,
They are angry for many, many reasons that has nothing to do with anything that they've done to themselves.
correct. But I like that you said that, because I think it happens to all of us,
Sure.
or people, or Have you ever gone swimming? And the pool was a lot of people in the pool. Then when you get in, everybody get out.
Oh
Or
yeah.
I,
I wish, you know.
it's just I don't know what it is. And then when this is, I'll be honest, I think I was ignorant to it for a long time because I
Sure.
was so busy just living my life and going up. But I remember the day I did notice it though, and it was like, wow, and I thought, I wonder how long that's been going on. And I just never noticed.
Yeah.
So it's, but what you're saying is that anger, when it does, this is what someone said to me about that incident. What if he had went up to him and hugged him, took all
Mm,
that emotion and hugged him?
mm.
Because I didn't even hear what he said. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I was watching it and I didn't even really hear. He said something about GI Jane. I didn't get the joke. I did
Right.
not get the joke. So
Yes.
I was asking my cousins. I was at her house. I said, "Did I? What happened?" I was like, "I didn't get the joke," and they're like, "Well, that's because Demi Moore shaved her head for that part." And I said, "Oh, I was still trying to make sense of everything. So when everything's going on, it really didn't occur to me. But it was interesting in that instance. Before he got up, I just said, "What happened to our hosts? What happened to the three ladies?"
Mm.
There were, and I thought because it had become a lull in the program, I didn't realize that there was a lull. And I said, "I mean, I haven't seen them for a while. What happened?" And that's when and as soon as I said what happened, that's when Will Smith got up. And
Wow. Wow.
that we'll never forget that. I don't think we're okay. We have a comment. Richard said, "Hello, Mary. Hello, Mr. Jackson. Hi, Richard. How are you?"
Hi, Richard. How are you?
I tell you. Well, I don't think nobody's gonna forget that. Let me just say that they're going to be showing that forever. But what can we say?
So
You know.
it just brings a different thought to my mind. If we could rechannel the energy, the and this goes for even the young men that are in the street that are hustling, that and dealing with the environment that they find themselves in, if they can just rechannel their energy and put it into creating a business or creating an opportunity to display something that they know that is an expression of themselves in maybe artwork. I just had Charles Bibbs in the office a few minutes ago, and he told me to tell you hi, and he also told you to tell you. He told me he said something about oldies but goodies,
Oh,
oldie but goodies.
that's what he said.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So he
Okay.
wanted to do something along that line, and I guess he'll reach out to you. But again, Charles Bibbs is an example. Here he is, a world-renowned artist, a world-renowned master of creating beautiful art pieces,
Yeah.
and we have so many more of our future Charles Bibbs in the
Yeah.
makings, but they get swallowed up into their anger or get misdirected into trying to make a fast dollar,
Right.
that they'll never see their potential. And one of the things that we want to try to do, and this is one of the philosophies behind what drove me to be a part of the Riverside County Black Chamber of Commerce,
Mm-hmm.
is to be able to allow us to have an opportunity, a space where
Right.
we can come in and test our ideas, to be able to talk about our ideas, to talk about what our talents are, because a lot of times there is no space for that. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times you have an idea and you think that it's a great idea and you share it with someone that may not have the same sort of ambition that you do, and
Right.
they put a damper on your idea.
Right.
So we wanted to create that space to be able to say, hey, here you're going to be able to lay out your idea, what you have in your head. A lot of ideas is the beginning of great businesses.
Oh, it really is. I was gonna definitely get to how is it, because the entrepreneurial spirit. Do you think that is born in people, or is it developed?
Okay, that's a great question. Let's go back a little bit. I always like to go back past slavery, but we're going to start with our transition out of slavery and the talent that it took for us to come out of slavery. The thing that resulted as a byproduct of that institution was for us to have the ability to become creators. We were the blacksmith. We were the ones that built the roads. We were the ones that built the houses. We were the ones that built the bridges, right? So
Yeah.
we become the skilled laborers that brought us and brought this country forward, and as a result of it, we were able to show that there was an innate ability for us to be able to be the creators, to be the thinkers, to be the scientists, right?
Right.
So I think that it's an innate.
Hmm.
It needs to be cultivated. It needs to be nourished. It
Right.
needs to be recognized. It needs to be encouraged. But I believe that we have it as a people. Yes, absolutely.
You know, as I'm listening to you, I was thinking not too long ago about why the entrepreneurial spirit in me. First of all, I did work a job for 30 years. I was a teacher, and then one day the reality occurred to me of I'm not going to live forever, and if it's something else I need to do, I need to do it. And I retired, and
Yeah.
but I didn't know what it was. I honestly, yeah, I didn't even have a clue what it was. My
Mhm.
principal actually tried to talk me out of retiring. She was saying I was having a midlife crisis, and but something in me, and I will be honest, I didn't even know how to explain the feeling of I knew I needed to find out what this is. And one of her last comments to me the day when I was speaking to her, she said, I'm at the door to her office, holding the door handle, about to go out. And she said, Mary, what if you go out there and you find nothing? I'll never forget that.
Wow. Wow.
And I said, I just turned to her. I said, at least I'll know. At least
Yes.
I will know. I don't want to leave this earth not knowing that I could, whatever it is I need to, as you said, create or do or whatever it is, at least I'll know. That's how I felt about it. And we
You
have
know,
a,
and
yeah,
that's a perfect example of someone that is trying to scare a person out of their dreams, right?
yeah,
To be able to give them, and they may not have intentionally meant to scare you, but because someone scared them, they share that same bit of
yeah,
advice that they chose to live their life by. So here we are. We have a person that says, um, "Be careful because if you go out there and what if you found nothing, right?"
yeah.
Well, what about the opposite of that? What about if you go out there and you find the very thing that makes you the happiest in life and that you become happy and able to make other people happy with the discovery that you made in your side of yourself? So
Yeah.
again, it's don't give me that without giving me the opportunity for the other side of the coin. And
Well,
again,
yeah.
one of the things that we know is that generational wealth
Mhm.
is something that's generated by the creation of business.
That's right.
We cannot pass down our job to our
Nope.
spouse or to our offspring or
Mm.
to our children. We have to make sure that if we're going to not have to start at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
every generation, we need to be able to hand off a business or some sort of
Mm-hmm.
cause that you know that if they follow through with it, they're going to change lives and make a difference.
That is huge. We have Richard says, I asked him how was he doing. He said he's fantastic. If it got any better, he couldn't take it. That is his favorite comment. And we have
Wow.
another Richard, and this is from Elaine. Elaine says, "Good afternoon, Mary and Pepe. We can learn something from the Will and Chris incident. All actions have consequences, so think before you act."
Absolutely.
Thank you. Hi, Elaine.
Amen.
I tell you. And then Charles has a comment. He says, people who have the entrepreneurial understanding that those and there are those who don't. Um, you're right. You know what I think it is, and I will say this too, which you are absolutely right, Pepe. I don't think she meant anything negative, but like you said, she was putting her fears on me. And
Mm-hmm.
what you said is so true. I didn't say it like that to her. What I just said was, at least I'll know. I'll know. If I don't walk out this door now, I knew in my heart I would regret it. I knew that in my very being. I said, this is your chance. Take it. Don't look back. I hate to say it like that, but don't be afraid to take it. But I really think a lot of people they fear that false evidence appearing real. That's what scares people. That
Sure.
fear. So
Sure.
how did you get past that? How did you get past those fears and the naysayers?
Okay, so I come from very humble beginnings, right? My family, we grew up in the projects. I didn't have much, um, and for me, I always tried to find a way where I could make money based on the abilities that I had. I went into sales right away.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started to learn the procedures of sales and the techniques of sales,
Mm-hmm.
the more I saw that I enjoyed depending on my own ability to create my income, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to being locked into a situation where you work 40 hours and you get this much and that doesn't change.
Right.
I do hear you, Charles, when you say that some people are not meant to be entrepreneurs. Well, I do understand that because we do need folks that want to have a passion for the job that they do. And if they do it well, then they're just as rewarded because money's not everything.
Right.
If what you do is something that you enjoy doing
Right.
and you're good at it,
Mm-hmm.
then we applaud you, right? Because that's what God has intended for you, of course, to go. So we
Right.
also need folks that are good at what they do. Martin Luther King said, if you're going to be a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper that you
That's
can be.
right. That's
So
right.
absolutely, we want folks that do the different jobs. Now, and I mentioned only here that the entrepreneurial spirit, though, is in all of us. That even as a a laborer on the assembly line,
Mm-hmm.
if you can come up with just one idea that makes that company more profitable, more efficient, then you essentially are an entrepreneur because the entrepreneur creates a solution to a problem. One of the things that we talk about to our young people is think about problems. Think about a problem that you want to solve. Think about what
Mm-hmm.
would it take for you to solve it. Then we tell them, okay, now that you've come up with a solution that you think that's going to solve that problem, what kind of team do you need around you to help you create that solution?
Right.
Because in entrepreneurship, that's what you do. You find a problem, you create a solution, then you
Right.
think about the team that you need to be able to execute that idea, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can monetize that idea. So
Right.
that's the root ingredients of coming up with a business idea.
All right. So, and like you said, it's already in there. We don't have to create or anything like that. It's problem solving. You're
Yes,
you're solving a problem that's already exists, but you're finding a way to make life better or make whatever it is that you're solving for really the society.
absolutely.
All right. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, let me see. Okay, I write children's books. Am I solving a problem for society by writing these books?
Of course, you're not only solving a problem, but you're creating an opportunity for a more educated young group of people to come forward. So, it's sometimes in solving a problem, you're really creating an opportunity.
Mhm.
You're creating an opportunity that's going to allow them to be able to better be equipped for the obstacles that's going to present them as they go into their education pursuits.
All right. Oh, 'cause and I'll tell you the difference. What I have found since my retirement, I don't get out of the bed in the morning. I literally jump out of the bed in the morning. I'm
Yes,
so happy to
yes,
be able to do with my day whatever it is I choose to do with it. And not that I'm saying anything negative about what I did, because I really love what I did. But I knew when it was over. I knew. And like someone's telling me too, I really never stopped teaching because now I teach using emails. For those of you that receive the emails, you'll see I teach history on there. I try to. And the reason I do that is because I think we need to be reminded. That's why I try to remind us about people that have come before us and the things that they've done. I don't think we should ever let those people that let all that hard work die. And in my opinion, if we don't keep it alive in our society, who will? So,
and you're absolutely right. These last 2 years have been um, earth shattering actually, and
Mhm.
very revealing to the disparities that we deal with as the African American and the have and the have nots. We still find ourselves in a situation where um, w- when a tough situation comes, we have to go inward and then figure out what our next steps are, right? So
Right.
one of the things that we did, and as a chamber of commerce, normally when you think of chamber of commerce, you think of an institution that's designed to be advocates for small businesses and to talk about tax breaks for businesses, to
Right.
talk about keeping wages down for employees with businesses. Um, that's your traditional sense of a chamber of commerce. What
Right.
we saw right away was that the health of our community was tied to the wealth of our community. If
Mm.
you have an unhealthy community that has to stay home and can't work a 40-hour work week, or has to stay
Mm.
home to be a caregiver to one of their loved ones and they aren't able to work a 40-hour week, that cuts down on the discretionary money that they have to patronize a small business. So
Right.
you could have the greatest small business in the world, and if you put it into a neighborhood that's economically depressed, then eventually that small business is going to disappear.
Right.
So, as a chamber of commerce, we said we have to ensure that we have a healthy community. When we started, it was just about the time when Barack Obama just initiated the Affordable Health Care Act. First time ever in the nation, we have a nationwide health care availability.
Uh-huh. That's right.
So we threw in our hat, was
Uh-huh.
able to become a navigator for Cover California to ensure that our folks had affordable health care.
Right.
Prior to that, we had to wait until the pain in our side was so excruciating that
Mm.
we had to go to the emergency room. We
Right.
used the emergency room like our primary care doctor.
Right. Right.
We had to wait until it became unbearable to go, and we got the worst health outcomes as a result of that.
Right.
So now we wanted to make sure that our folks were doing preventative care, making sure that they were doing their regular checkups, that sort of thing. Fast forward, the pandemic hits us. Now we got a lot of our folks at least insured, but we wanted to make sure that we didn't miss out and not get left out of the vaccinations. We went in, Barack again led the charge, came out, took a shot in front of the nation, and said, look, you know what? I trust this vaccine. There were African American doctors and scientists that was
Right.
part of the development of that vaccine.
Yeah.
Yet and still, right, we want to make sure that nobody gets left behind. As
Right.
a Chamber of Commerce, we had a bus that we had for our after school program. Once the pandemic hit and everybody went to virtual, we repurposed the bus and started picking people up to take them to get shots
Right.
and testing. So as a Chamber of Commerce, we see that we have an obligation to make sure that
Yeah.
our community is healthy so that they can be economically strong. So that's been the driving force behind these last 2 years. We've been continuously trying to make sure that we don't go backwards because again, if we don't stay diligent,
Right.
then this pandemic could actually turn around and bite us again. And
Yeah.
the last thing we want to do, so many small businesses got hurt, got shut
Right.
down.
Right.
Um, that's a whole nother story, but I will share with you this, that
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to build back better and differently
Right.
because we knew that the system under which small businesses were operating prior to the pandemic was not ideal.
Right.
Everything was FICO driven. And some of the times you find our small businesses
Mm-hmm.
struggle with um, historical historical discrimination,
Right.
historical biasness,
Right.
and doesn't give us the same opportunity to have access to that capital that everybody says that's available to small businesses.
Right.
So, as a result of that, we say as we're going back, we're starting to open back up again. We
Mm-hmm.
partnered up with First Community Financial, which is a small CDC. And what they do is they help small businesses get the um, BIPOC loan. I'm gonna say that it's a BIC, that's BIPOC, BIPOC, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
Black Indigenous People of Color,
Okay, got it,
and
got it.
it's what is considered is a micro loan
Right.
where anywhere between $5,000 and $20,000, which allows a small business to maybe beef up their web presence, maybe beef up their social media pages,
Mm-hmm.
or buy additional inventory so they can start building business back up again.
Got it.
So that's what we're doing now as we move through the end of this pandemic that we're already claiming that it's the end to. But we better be diligent along the way. You
Yeah.
can get your first shot and say, okay, that's enough for me. Or you can get your second shot and say, okay, I got two. But when you need your booster to
Yeah.
really have a complete regimen,
Right.
let's go all the way. Right?
Right.
Let's
Right.
don't stop midstream and think we're okay, and then another variant comes by and it becomes a catastrophe. So
Right.
we
Right.
encourage people to make sure we're going to stay open for business. Let's make sure that we get our shots, make sure we got our health care,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we are a healthy community so that we can become that economically strong community.
Well, I can tell you, um, I would see the flyers for the everything that the Black Chamber is doing and how community driven. You know, like you said, that our health and really our health is our wealth. If you're not healthy, you really can't do anything else.
Yes,
That makes, I mean,
yes,
it's they
yes,
all it goes hand in hand. We have to be
yes.
healthy. We have to be healthy. So I know too. I believe the director, the coordinator that I know, the coordinator as far as on the coalition for the Black Chamber was this wonderful lady that I met called Sylvia, and her name is Sylvia Jackson.
Mhm, mhm.
And she's, I mean, a go-getter and positive influence to so many as far as the community is concerned. And I definitely am one of those people. So I want to say hi, Sylvia, just so you know. And we have Josh. What Josh says, let's see, he has a comment. He said, "Hello, all. What is the subject matter?" And it's all we're talking problem solving skills. That's one thing for sure, Josh. When we're talking about entrepreneurs, and really, I was just mentioning the Pepe's are entrepreneurs born or made, and he's saying it's all right. It's already all in us because it's a survival. I believe that's why you're saying it's a survival technique, and how can we survive different avenues by being creative. Um, One of my outlets is writing. That has, and I didn't even know I could write, which is so interesting. But now that I have tapped into that, I can't. It's like I can't write enough. I write literally every day. I'm writing something. So that's one that I would say for me. But that for all of us, we have different outlets. It's, and as you mentioned, Charles Bibbs is his art. I was in New Orleans. This is a few years ago at the Essence Music Festival.
Yes.
It's a true story. I saw this crowd coming down the street, and I thought it was this rock star. This is all
Mhm.
true. I said I couldn't believe how many people. And in the middle of all these people was Charles Bibbs. They
Yes.
were clamoring after him
Yes.
to the point
Yes.
it was frightening for me for him. That's how many people were there, and I was. And then finally, after he told everybody, to calm down and everything. And
Mhm.
then and so the two of us were talking, and I said, "What is going on?" And Elaine was there too, his wife Elaine, and she said, "Mary, it's like this everywhere but in Riverside."
Well, you know what, we're going to make a difference in that because the thing is that as I was sharing with Charles this afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
is that he's decided to, and purposely so, to
Mm-hmm.
keep a low key here in Riverside. And I
Yes.
said, look, brother, your work is too important. We
Yeah.
need to let the folks know that they have a national treasure right
That's
in their
right.
backyard.
Right.
And we're going to do a much better job at getting the information out about his work. His work is world renowned.
It
So
is.
so
It
we I think we are really blessed to have him right in our backyard.
Yes.
Speaking of people that make a difference in people's lives, I
Mm-hmm.
want to share. that Sylvia has been my motivation, my inspiration, my partner. Now, I will share this because this is very important in entrepreneurship. If you have the wrong person on your team, if you have the wrong person on your team, your journey could be torturous, right? Now,
Mm,
I don't say that because I want someone to turn around and say, "Ah, it's your fault that I'm not making it." No, but the other side of the coin is that if you got the right person on your side,
mm-hmm.
the right person that encourages you,
Right.
the right person that sticks with you when things don't look so nice, right?
Right.
When things look a little shaky, that they still are in your corner,
Right.
right? That makes a difference. If there was one thing, especially for all those that are married or couples that are working together,
Mm-hmm.
it's so important for you guys to be on one accord. And
Right.
one accord doesn't mean that you're always going to agree, but
Right.
one accord means that you share a vision of the future together, that
Oh.
you are able to know that that person has got your back no matter what.
Oh.
And for all the hours that we work, and Sylvia will be the first one to tell you. She says, we need to just take some time off. And I'm like, no, right now we have to make sure that we take care of these deliverables, these obligations,
Right.
these things. And she'll readjust, right? She'll shake it off and say, "Come on, let's go."
Oh my
So
goodness.
it made a difference. It's made a difference. I can't tell you how important it is to have the right person on your side.
And it sounds like, and I definitely applaud you and Sylvia because you are definitely, the two of you are a team. You, like someone once said to me, nothing can beat a team.
Yeah.
If you just can, you're both, like you said, you're on one accord together, work, and the two of you work side by side, and both of you, every time I've been with either one of you, it's always been positive. It's always been positive, positive energy, positive, to get things going for the community. Always, I've never been around either of you, and it's always been to my knowledge, I honestly say this, never once have I heard either one of you say anything negative. That's the truth.
Well, thank you
Always
so
been
much. I wish I could say that's 100%, but at least we try to keep the public face together,
Yeah, you
right?
do. You
We
keep
keep the
that public
public
face
face
going.
together.
And then see, and this is long before the show. I'm talking about,
Yeah.
there was no show. It wasn't. It was just in conversation. It was just in
Yes.
conversation
Yes.
about just like that. And
Yes.
Sheila, hi
Yes.
Sheila. Sheila says hi everyone. We're
Hello,
gonna do,
Sheila.
and we're gonna do a quick roll call here because
Okay.
make sure we say hello to everyone again. And that is hi Gwen and Charles and Richard, Elaine. We have Josh and Sheila. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And there's more people watching. Everybody doesn't make comments, but that's okay. You don't always have to make a comment to be watching the show. So, but I definitely, I'm listening to you, Pepe, because as I go on writing, writing now, I'm writing my very first screenplay. I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be writing a movie. It never occurred to
Yes.
me, but I've been around coaches that have said, Mary, you write books. It's already in you. All we
Mhm.
need to do is show you how to do the other
There
part.
we go.
And so now I'm doing that. So this is all new to me, and at the same time, it's exciting. It's interesting. I'm just amazed. And one, I was on a set, and they said, "Do you act?" And at first, I said no. And this one lady came to me. She said, "Don't you ever say no? Don't you?" she
Right,
said, she
right.
said, "How do you know you don't act? You never have you tried?" I said, "I've never tried." She said, "Then you always say yes." I learned that from, she said, "You always say yes." And I thought, okay. I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm sure, people study. It's a art and a craft like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So
Yes.
for me, I've never been in front of a camera. So I can't even imagine what that would be like. And maybe I can act and I just don't know it. I don't know. Who knows? But
Well, no, well, I know this that your personality is a personality that commands attention. Each time
oh,
I've ever seen you, you've always been had something to say, "Hey, look, this is what I'm doing, and this is where we're going, and you need to be a part of it." And I'm like, "Okay, okay, let's go." Right. So I think that there is a spirit on you that is a can-do spirit, a
oh,
can-do. I can do this spirit. I can do that spirit. I know that one of the things in the chamber is that we want to try to impart on entrepreneurs, the new entrepreneurs, that a can-do spirit beats the know-how every time, right? You can
Oh,
learn something,
yeah,
but if you have a can do, you could maybe even have skill sets. But if you say I can't do it, then that's the end of the game right there.
yeah,
So a can do spirit
yeah.
is I think can take you places where your education will never be able to take you, because
It's true.
they open doors because people see
Yeah.
the spirit of I want to do this. I want to make a
Oh,
difference. Right? We
oh,
don't ask the kids anymore what do they want to be when they grow up. We ask the kids, what do you want to change when you grow up?
whoa.
What do you
That's
want to
big.
change? What do
Yes.
you want to change? How do you want to change it? Right? This
Oh,
allows them to start thinking about their abilities
right, right.
and
Oh,
to
I
look
like
at
that.
ways to change people. Yes,
Oh, and what
absolutely.
changes do they want to see in this world? That gives them,
Yes.
think of what that opens up to them.
How about it?
I like that.
How
I
about it?
like that.
Thank you.
Well, I know I want to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you see on the screen, Riverside County Black Chamber of Commerce. This is the website. I'm sure Pepe would love for you to join, become a member. The membership is not that much, so you can
No,
join in, and if whether you're joining, we would like for you to join Riverside County. But if you're not in, let's say you're not in Riverside County, because we know this broadcast is worldwide, join a local chamber. And if there's a Black chamber in your community, join that chamber, because the memberships make a difference. They do make a difference. So don't think that, oh, it doesn't matter. Truthfully, it does. It really, really does. Because the more members, the stronger the chamber becomes to the community. So
absolutely. It's your voice.
it
We want to be
is.
able to represent our voice. We do over um, almost $1 trillion in business in the Black community. But when you talk about who's the voice for that economic power, and that voice is our voices that has to be expressed through our different organizations.
Right.
One of the things that I will share, and I know that we're coming up here where we may start wrapping things up, but one of the things is this: is that the Riverside County Black Chamber of Commerce
Mm-hmm.
does two things. They want to make sure that we have a healthy community and an economically empowered community. So, what does that mean? We talk about access to capital for small businesses. We actually do give people loans, right? So, we want you to come in. It's not FICO driven, right? It's based on your track record. If you've hired people and you do business, then we want to figure out if we can help you get the money that you need to stay in business. There's
Right.
a lot of money coming down from the government, different programs, different foundations. We have our hand on the pulse of that. We
Oh,
want you to come in and check us out. Now,
oh,
secondly, if you want to contribute, if you done business in the past and now you just want to help other people get involved with business, come in and talk to us. We can use volunteer help. If you want to be a volunteer to help another young business get started, we'd love to have you in here.
oh.
There's a tremendous amount of community work that we do. We
Mm-hmm.
do uh, let me share with you this. We have
Okay.
a program called the IE Smokeout. This is the Inland
Right.
Empire Smokeout. It helps
Mm-hmm.
to reduce tobacco use in the African American community.
Right.
What it is that 45,000 African Americans die each year from a tobacco related illness. 45,000. And the big tobacco companies now have targeted our young people with this new mechanism called the vape product, right? It's an electronic vape device that the big tobacco companies are making look like it's cool. We want them to know that we are opposed to them coming into our community and hooking another generation on nicotine products. So this is the type of work that we're doing here at the chamber. We're creating opportunity for small businesses. We're trying to make sure that our community stays healthy, and we need your support. We need your help. We need you to come in and get involved. We need to hear your voice.
All right. Well, I just, as I said before, what you were saying was so powerful. I wanted the audience to focus on you
Thank you. Thank you.
because It is saying that, ladies and gentlemen, many of you may say, you may have said to yourself, well, how do I get involved? And where do I put my time and energy? And here you have the president of the Riverside County Black Chamber saying, we need you. We need you. We
Yeah,
want you to become involved. We want you to contact them. There's a website. It's right here, riversidecounty.bcc.org. Um, they're looking for you. So please take the time. And you may say, well, maybe it's not you. Maybe you have a friend, and maybe they are retired or maybe not, but they want to get involved in the community. Here is an organization that's saying, we welcome you. We welcome you. So don't take that lightly. Like, I can tell you for sure.
absolutely,
For,
absolutely.
for sure. But the now the grants, if I remember correctly, are these some of micro grants? Is that 5,000 as a micro?
Yeah, 5,000 up to 20.
Okay, are grants that you, and then but your FICO does not come into effect for these grants, but they're just going to look at your history, your work, your
Correct, correct,
okay.
correct.
So,
And
ladies
your
and gentlemen,
story, right? One of the things, for example, there was a young man that had a paint company. He is a licensed C43, and he's been in business for over 10 years. When the pandemic came, of course, his crew left him, but he has done business in the past where he's actually been on small subcontracting jobs with hospitals, with schools, where he came into paint. Now
okay,
we know that Build Back Better bill that was passed that has something to do with the reconstruction infrastructure. There's going to be more paint jobs for bridges, for hospitals, for schools. So
right,
we have him, and we're making sure that he has a shot at some of this new business. In fact, there's a new project that just came up in Moreno Valley
mm-hmm.
called Canyon Springs. It's going to be a medical facility. One of the buildings is complete. Two of the other buildings are still in process. We are bidding right now for their paint project.
Wow,
We will be doing business with the city, the county, and the state, and we're helping our small businesses qualify for those contracts. On our website,
uh huh,
there is a business assessment tool. If you come to our website,
mm-hmm.
you'll be able to apply for the loan. You'll be able to apply for the business assessment tool, and then you'll be able to apply for technical help. The business assessment tool, you answer maybe about 20 questions or so. And what it does, it tells us exactly where you're at in the business process. Do you have your license? Do you have your insurance? Do you have your marketing strategy? Who is your ideal customer?
I
Right.
love it.
One of the things here, and I'll make this an example. We had a group of people that wanted to start a hair business,
Mm-hmm.
and it's human hair, right? So the question was, okay, who is your customer?
Right,
And the answer was anybody that needs hair, right?
uh huh,
So in a marketing situation, that's not a good answer. You
right,
can't say anybody who needs hair is my client because
right,
you can't focus in on any one segment of people.
right,
So if you're looking for the up and coming professional somewhere between 25, 35, 45, where they are actually already in the professional position where
right,
their hair is very important, that it looks nice every day.
right,
These are your folks that have the money to pay for that type of product that you're offering.
right.
We need to know what marketing strategies are all about, and
Mhm.
that's where we sit down and help folks at.
Well, I can tell you, I'm listening to you, and we have another comment from Charles Radden. He says, checking out the website as you speak. He said there are so you're already going to have a new member. I'm pretty sure
Uh,
Charles is going to become a
well,
member.
come on, Charles. Come on. We got you.
For sure, for sure. I know too. As we are closing out this afternoon, as I said before we started, did I tell you it's going to go fast?
Yes, you did.
I
Yes, you did.
You would think when you think, oh, it's an hour program. I've had people tell me, oh, I can't talk an hour, and when it's over, they come back and say that was an hour. So it goes really, really fast. But I wanted to give you an opportunity if you had any closing comments for our audience at this time, Pepe.
I think everyone should be very aware that Mary D has an hour of power that everyone needs to spread the word. Make sure that we lift her up every
Oh,
opportunity we get. Mary, we're going to feature you on our website. Thank you so very much for inviting me here today. It was my pleasure. I hope that someone out there is inspired to maybe think about an entrepreneurial idea. And if they do, then we're here to help you. Just come in and check us out.
all right. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. And audience, I'd like to thank you for coming, Pepe, for taking time because I know you're a very busy man, and but I wanted to make sure the audience had this opportunity to meet you and get to know
Thank you.
you, and so it looks like you're going to have at least a couple of new members as far as the
My
chamber is
pleasure.
concerned. All right. So thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies, gentlemen, as we getting near the close of our show today, I would like to definitely say, as I said before, thank you again to Pepe for taking time out of his busy day to stop by because it means a lot. Anytime anybody is there, he already has a lot going on, but he still said, yes, when I offered the invitation and said, would you like to be a guest on the show? You just don't know where people are, but when people do take the time, they're saying they appreciate the opportunity to come on and speak to you, the audience, because as we know, these shows go all over. They're on the internet, and we know what that means. That means who knows where they go, but it's still an opportunity for people to learn, to find, as I said, as he was telling everybody about the micro grants, about how do you obtain funding if you are in business, and this is not about your FICO score. So it's not your personal finances that come into play as it is your business finances that they're going to determine who gets these grants. And he's giving you everything you need on the website for those of you that are interested in going into business. If you are not already in business for yourself, one thing about the chamber, you're not in business by yourself. That's why the chamber is so very important. You don't want to be in business by yourself. Everybody needs support, ladies and gentlemen. There is no one that I know of that doesn't. We all need support. We all need somebody that's going to hold our hand to a certain extent as we go through whatever it is that we're doing, especially in the business environment, that there's always somebody's already been there before. So how can they help you navigate as they say, the minds out there with what's going on? But you learn a lot from the chamber. The chamber has workshops and classes and all kinds of things that can help you. And in this day and age, I would suggest you have more than one income stream. And we didn't go into that. And I say that because one income stream really doesn't get it anymore. I mean, gas is, give me a break, over $5, $6 a gallon. Just that alone would make you have another income stream. But the point is, if you're not already doing what you love, and I don't mean like, I mean love. Because when you do what you love, it doesn't feel like work. Just know that. You don't feel like you're working when you love what you're doing. Now you may be working, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel like that. So if that's not if or what you're doing is a hobby, but it's not something that you're doing to make money with, then why don't you contact the chamber, and I'll put the website up again for you and see if we can turn that hobby into a business. You'd be surprised. As I was showing Pepe my children's books, they are a business. That's a business. It's not just I'm writing books to be writing them. I'm writing books for schools. So you can go to Amazon and purchase those books. Those books go to parents, children, grandparents. They read them to their kids at night. They're affecting their minds, and we want it to be a positive effect that we have on kids, without a doubt. So that's what I really like about the writing. But find your passion. That's where you should be, is in your passion, whatever that may be. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on this wonderful, beautiful Monday. I will see you in a week from today. Our guest next week is actress Judy Pace. She's coming by to say hi. Some of you may remember her. She was an actress in the 70s, very well known throughout Hollywood, and she's coming by to visit. So I will see you a week from today on another beautiful Monday. Take care, everybody. I love you. Bye-bye. I may be able to squeeze it in. Oh, there we go. Sheila said, "Thank you, Mary." You're welcome, Sheila. Bye.